Why do you think I'm wrong?
because I think that the government is a failed institution. Like I don't
Okay.
think that you're
So
correct.
you don't
I
want
think
any
that the
government.
government is um I wouldn't say I want no government. However, the amount of government we have right now, I'm very much against it.
The amount of government we have
Undeniably.
right now. Wait, you don't think I believe what I say? Like, for
Correct. Yeah, I
example,
think that you say it because it gives you clout.
like clout is in when I say what? Like when I say that the election wasn't stolen? That's like I'm saying that for clout?
That's not what I mean, but I mean the
But
election
that's
was
what you said
obviously
just now, isn't it?
what the election of 2020 was obviously deeply influenced by the deep state. Like there's no way around that.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Multiple influential people inside of our government made sure that people didn't know about stories, you know, about Hunter Biden
Uh-huh.
to make sure that they would vote a certain way.
Do you
Like,
you think that Hunter Biden stories are that influential? Like that you really think
yes,
that
yes, I do. I think that a lot of people, if they knew that Hunter Biden was corrupt as fuck, they wouldn't have voted for Joe Biden. Yes.
so this is of course impossible to prove, but I guess I'll try my very
Okay.
best. Um well I mean you can't how could you ever prove that? Like you can we don't live in that
I
we
mean,
don't
people literally
exist.
have said that. They've done polls on this.
What do you mean they've done polls on
People
this?
have
Like
been asked this question and answered in the affirmative that they would not have voted for Joe Biden if they knew that their family was so corrupt. Like, come on,
oh,
man.
okay. Well I would love to see some of these polls, but beyond that, Um, the thing is, Hunter Biden
What?
is not Joe Biden. I think you know that.
True. Yes, that is true.
And
Correct.
Hunter Biden hasn't, at least up until now, still to this day, uh, actually conclusively been connected to Joe Biden for his
Yeah, you're right, man. He
misdealings.
didn't leave a fucking pound of cocaine in the congressional library. You got it, dog. Like, come
Wait,
on.
he
What?
left. Wait, Hunter Biden left a pound of. First of all, you're making him sound cooler because I am. That
You
if
think that's cool?
yes,
Like
I
that's the
do.
thing. Like yeah, I mean, but I guess that's the fundamental difference. Like you think that it's cool
Yeah, that'd
for
be
someone
fucking
to do
sick.
drugs in our governmental buildings.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about the governmental buildings.
I mean, I
Someone was
do.
literally
So
having gay
yeah, we
sex
differ there.
in a Senate hearing, in a Senate hall the other
Yeah,
day, and the Republicans
it
were
was a
losing their
Democrat.
minds over it. And I thought
Correct.
that was
Yep.
fucking awesome.
Oh,
So yeah, I'm already.
you liked you liked that.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. 100%. Little quickie.
Okay. I mean, sure. So
Wait, why do
like
you care?
but well
Okay,
because I
so
want
you
our government to be a respected institution. Like if people are fucking on government grounds giving no respect at all to the institution, like that's a problem to me.
okay? Let me ask you something else. So you care about the government in our institutions
I don't know
and
if I
you think
say I
it's
care about the government, but if
do
we're
you
going
think
to
so you
have
think
a
like
government,
wait
I want
hold
people
on
to
let me finish my
respect the
question
institution.
let me finish my
Like,
question okay I'm trying to dialogue with
yeah,
you
my bad. Yeah.
so so you think like desecrating the halls of government is you know fucked up right
I think that it's yeah, I mean it shows what you think about
okay
government. Yes.
so and you also simultaneously think the election was stolen do you think it was
I
appropriate
do not.
do you think January
No,
6th was
no.
appropriate
I don't believe the election was stolen. I
okay
think
do
that it
you
was
think January
highly
6th is appropriate like
no.
the actions taken on
Do
January
I think
6th?
that breaking into the Capitol is appropriate? No.
Oh, okay,
I don't.
fair, fair. That's cool. Um,
Like I'm not a hardcore Republican,
you're
but I
not a
do
hardcore
appreciate you like
Republican.
talking to me cuz I mean, you're way bigger than me, man. Like I have no following at all. So,
No,
like
I mean,
thanks for taking me on.
it don't matter. I do this every day. I talk to people with no following every day. It
Hell yeah,
doesn't
brother.
matter as long as
I
they're
appreciate
entertaining
that a lot,
or
actually.
unique.
Like
Okay,
it
so you don't
makes
have to
me
be
actually makes me
somebody.
respect you a little bit more because like I kind of was like hating on you, but now I'm seeing that actually you're a pretty cool guy.
No. I mean, I still think that it's okay to do gay sex in the Senate hearing, in a Senate
I don't.
hearing
I
room,
really don't,
or
man. Like, come on, man. Like,
you
would
don't
you be
think?
okay with straight sex in the Senate building? Like, come
No,
on, dude.
I'm not okay with straight sex at all. I think it should be
Only
banned.
gay sex.
Only gay sex is
Like,
allowed in the.
what, dude?
Yeah, no straight sex allowed
You
in the
understand
Senate.
how hypocritical that is, right? Come on.
Bro, I'm fucking with you. What do you mean? I don't give a
Okay.
shit if I don't
Okay.
give a shit if there's straight
Good.
sex happening either.
Good. For sure.
Oh, that's
You just
funny.
don't care. I mean, then, and that's
Yeah, no,
understandable.
I
Like,
don't.
you
I
can have
actually,
your position, like, you know.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean, you're allowed to believe what you want to believe. Like, I'm not gonna take that away from you, but I think you're wrong.
yeah, I don't care. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the civility aesthetics or whatever. If let me here,
Yeah.
let me put it this way, okay?
Sure.
If they were doing Roman style orgies in there, but we have fucking healthcare for all, I'd be like all about it. I would be throwing it back, okay? I'd be throwing it back for fucking Lindsey Graham or whoever. If they were,
No way.
if that was the only way that they were like, you know what? Lindsey Graham came up to me, he's like, listen, Hasan, we are going to do Roman style gay sex orgies. There's a bull involved, but that means that we have Medicare for all. I'd be like, sure, all right, fuck it. One time, who cares? You know, I'll throw it back for one. I'll throw
Is
it back
that
for
how much?
Medicare for all
Wait,
one
is that
time.
how much? Is that how much you care about, like, having, medical coverage for everybody?
Yeah, you don't. You wouldn't suck a dick.
I absolutely do. I absolutely do not. You know why?
Why?
Because when I paid for health insurance, my payment was $150 a month for absolute full coverage. After Obamacare, it's $500 a month for shitty coverage.
Okay.
So no, I would rather
Well,
some people
Medicare for all doesn't mean Medicare for all doesn't mean Obamacare.
Yeah, but I'd rather some people not be covered and people actually be able to afford healthcare than everybody pay a shitload of
The
taxes for shitty healthcare.
How about everyone get covered regardless?
No.
No, you just don't want some people to be covered.
Yes, I think that if you're going to be so fucking lazy that you're not even willing to work a job, you shouldn't have healthcare coverage. Correct.
But what if you need healthcare coverage and you can't work a job because you are severely disabled?
I mean, I think that there definitely should be exceptions for people that have, serious conditions like disabilities where they can't work.
What if they
But
got
that's not the majority of people.
What if they got
the majority of people are
cancer?
just not working and not fucking paying their fair share, dog. Like, come on.
What do you mean by that? Majority of people are not working and not paying their fair share. What do you elaborate?
Yes. Okay. I think that the lack of people paying their fair share into the system is the vast majority of the time people being lazy as fuck. It's not just people that are disabled. I very much think that we should take care of people that are hurting and that cannot support themselves. But that's not the majority of people that aren't paying taxes and doing anything. It isn't.
I'm a little confused by what you mean by this. So here, let me talk about healthcare. Right? Do you understand how insurance pools work?
I mean, I think I understand roughly how insurance pools work. Yes.
Would you want to describe it? So I get a better understanding of how you think insurance pools work?
I mean, not really. As far as my understanding goes,
you understand it, but you don't want to describe it.
Well, I think that everyone pays into a pool because the risk to one singular person isn't massive. However, if everyone pays, say, $300 a month into a pool, somebody's
well, it's not $300 a month.
But
usually...
somebody's going to get hurt in that group. Somebody's going to have a health condition or get hurt, and so they pay out that person. It mitigates risk.
It leverages those who are healthy paying in that don't take as much out.
Correct.
Against people who are also paying into the pool that desperately need it. Right?
Yes.
So right now, this is how we have insurance pools across the board. I think universalizing that would be beneficial for the country, be cost effective, And on top of that, the government managing this insurance pool in the form of taxes for socialized medicine would have a significantly better and genuinely well-established interest in keeping medical costs as low as physically possible. Because
See, I don't
the
see
insurance
proof of
industry,
that,
you say
though.
you're I suspect you're a bit of a libertarian.
I am definitely more anti-government than you, for sure.
I love government. I love big government.
I
It's
know
my
you do.
favorite.
That's
So
kind of why I fucking started arguing with you.
yeah, so I think that regulations are good. I think that a government
Do
that
you
is
think that
supposed to
tariffs
do.
are good?
Do I think that tariffs are good?
Yeah. Do you think
It
that tariffs on
depends.
China are good?
It depends. No, I mean I don't really. No, I don't think that. I don't think that petty tariffs are specifically to win over political points are good. It depends though.
So, but you support China.
Do I support China? I mean, I don't
I think you
support
do.
any single country. I don't support China any more than I support any other
Would you
country.
support America if we moved more toward a socialist style of thinking?
Yes.
Okay. And that's my problem with you. I think that you're wrong.
Why do you think I'm wrong?
Because I think that the government is a failed institution. Like I don't
Okay.
think that you're correct.
So you don't want any
the
government.
is I wouldn't say I want no government. However, the amount of government we have right now, I'm very much against it.
The amount of government we have right now.
What
do we?
The amount of government we have right now is garbage.
Too much government. How do we? Like,
Way
what
too
are
much.
the? I guess what are some of the examples of too much government? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, so I guess my opinion is that the federal government is too large. I would like to see more local government. So, like, it's gonna
That's still
sound really
government.
dumb. I'm sure you've had this argument before, but like the pyramid structure of our government, I would like to see it inverted, right? I would like to see local government be the most powerful, state government be less powerful, and federal government be less powerful than that. I would like to see people have more effect on their government as they see it in front of them. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
You want to give more power to local governments?
Yeah, I'm really tired of
That's
the
still more
federal
government, though.
deciding.
You know that, right? I mean, that's still
no,
more
it's
government.
not. I would argue it's not more government. It's just different government. It's government that you can directly affect, right? Instead of like, I don't know about you, man, but I personally like. I don't feel like I have much power over the federal government. Like I can cast my vote.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, but
So it's more about
like my
being able to
local
control. So it's more
correct.
about. So if
Yeah.
you were to be able to exercise your influence over the federal government in the way that like corporations do on a regular basis, then you would be fine with the federal government, is what you're saying.
I'd be okay with government if it is easily influenceable by the people that, are under it.
Okay, I mean, I agree with that. I don't have an issue with that. That's what I want. So how do you think you can build more?
So how about we just team
how
up
do you think you
and
can
fucking
build
make
more
this happen, dog?
power? Like, how can you make the government more democratic? Let's say.
I mean, I don't know how one person could possibly do anything about the
Not
power
one
structure that we
person,
have
obviously
now.
united, right? Like you'd have to engage in
what do you think? Like, do
dare
you
I
think
say
there's any
collective
possibility
action?
that we could do what I'm saying, which is invert the power structure and,
Well, I mean,
and make it more local?
You work a job, right? You have a job?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at your job, do you have a union?
No.
Do you like unions? You're a contractor.
Do I like unions? That's a big question.
Because like
sometimes
what you just described.
I guess, like,
okay, good. You're open-minded to that. Because what you just described as far as like smaller formations of governance, self-governance is at the heart of unions, right? Because currently in the work structure that you exist under as a contractor, sure, you feel as though you make your own hours and whatever. But the reality is you also lose out on a lot of benefits that you normally would get, or your bosses would normally have to pay you, especially if you were a full-time employee at that workplace. That's the reason why you're a contractor. So, a better way, even as a contractor, to ensure that you get better protections, like let's say, if you were injured on the job, for example, if you were to get some semblance of coverage and some semblance of protection from your employers, you would need to be able to fight for that. Your employers, on the other hand, of course, don't want to do that for you, right? They want to make sure that they're cutting costs as best as they can.
I mean, you're making a pretty good argument, but like, why can't employers just not be cunts? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
It's because they're self-interested, right? Like, everyone is self-interested. Would you say you're self-interested in the same way that your employers are?
I actually disagree with that. I think that there's a good majority of people that are self-interested, but I think that a good amount of people are actually interested in the whole, like the whole.
What?
This is gonna sound dumb as fuck, but like the whole, benefit of humanity.
Do you think there are bosses out there that are like, yeah, dude?
I don't think there's many business owners that are.
Yeah,
like
why do you think that's the case? That many business owners are not interested in giving you what you're honestly supposed to be earning.
I mean, you're right. Like, because they want to make money.
Yeah, they want to make profits.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you're right. Yeah.
So here's how that works, right? Your boss wants you to work the most amount of hours for the least amount of pay. Right? They want to pay you as little as they possibly can get away with and have you work as much as they possibly can get you to work. That's why they'll be like, all right, you got to come in on this day. You know what I mean? Even though maybe you're not.
That has been my experience as being an employee.
Yeah. Right? So, and then you as an employee or as a contractor want to obviously max out on your pay, get the most amount of pay for the least amount of hours. Like, that just makes sense. It's just self-interest.
Correct. Sure.
Right. Exactly. So you are at direct odds with the interests of your boss in that regard. So when your boss has all the power in the authoritarian structure of a corporation, because that is what it is by design, right? Corporations are not exactly democratic. When your boss has all the power inside of your corporation, they get to set your wages, okay? And then also on top of that, they get to tell you what the fuck you have to do at every step of the way. The only way to be able to demand or make demands from your boss is if you get a bunch of other contractors like yourself working in that same workplace and try to engage in collective bargaining. Create a union. That's democracy.
I mean, so at a certain point, like, shouldn't a company like care about its employees? Like, does it need to be an adversarial relationship?
I mean, they can fake it, but like ultimately, it's just
do you
normal.
Think that? Wait, slow down. Do you think it's not possible for a company owner to like treat their employees like equals? Like,
it could be, but that's costly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is costly, but
that's the point.
I mean, my own parents operated their business that way. Like, okay. I've seen it happen. Like,
yeah, but that's not the norm, I think, as you have also admitted.
I mean,
also,
maybe it's not the norm, but
also you don't know what your, like, no disrespect to your parents, but you don't know what their workers also felt like. Your parents might be wonderful people, but from their workers' perspective, their workers might not have felt any different than the way you feel when they were working with your parents. They might have been nice, they might have been kind, but ultimately, you know, you're not going to be able to.
I'm pretty sure they felt pretty good. You know why?
Why?
Because I know what their supervisor was paid.
What? The supervisor?
I know what their supervisor was paid. Like, the top level guy underneath them, I know what he was paid. And I know what everyone else was paid.
Okay, well, regardless, that doesn't change the reality that, like, your supervisor might have still felt differently about their bosses in this, or even similar to how you feel about your own personal boss right now. But anyway,
Okay.
but regardless, okay.
Is the
So
chat just roasting me right now? I can't even see the chat.
don't read the chat. Don't worry about it. My point was about
I do actually really like
having.
talking to you. Like,
My
this is
point was about
wild. I
getting
didn't think you would
leverage.
ever talk to me.
Okay, it doesn't matter. My point was about getting leverage in your workplace. How can you get leverage
Yeah.
over your bosses to ensure that your bosses are at the very least like listening to your demands? I'm sure there's been a time when in your job
Yeah.
you wanted to do things a certain way. Let's say you're a smart guy. Let's say you have a more efficient way
Am
of
I?
doing your job, whatever your job may be. And you
Yeah.
bring it up to your manager, and your manager's like, no, fuck off. You're going to do the way I want you to do it because that's what my top level
Right.
officials have told me.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to do it. So, you know,
What's the
you
question?
but you know because you're hands on. You're a contractor. You've been doing this for a long time. You know the better way to do it. But you can't even get your fucking boss to listen to you, your supervisor to listen to you, right?
Uh-huh.
How would you be able to do that? How would you be able to get him to listen to what you have to say?
I mean, I guess I could just punch him directly in the face.
That would, I mean, you get fired, I think,
Yeah, true. But
if you
I
did
mean,
that.
you're asking me like legitimately, how would I do that? How would I
I think there's a
affect
better way to
my
do that without violating the
yeah,
non-aggression
no,
principle.
that is correct. I think that the legitimate way to do that would, to suggest an improvement to your manager,
And then if he
I
doesn't
guess.
listen, though, on the other
Yeah,
hand, and
but
you're
like,
like, but there's a
what do
there's
you
an
do with
easier
that?
way to do this.
It's
If you
either
were
you push your point or you leave, right? Like,
no, that's not. You don't have to do that.
I think you have to do one of those two things. Like,
No, you
if you
don't
think
leave.
that if you
There's
think
a way
that
to do it.
your
The correct.
method is better, you need to either push that point or you need to leave.
Or if
I
you had
really
some
do believe
semblance,
that.
if you had some semblance of democracy in your workplace, you could
That
get
is
the other
democracy. What?
contractors. You could get the other contractors on board, and you could tell your manager like, no. Together we've
Oh,
decided this is
okay. So
actually the more
you're saying
effective
like
way.
let me fucking like ally people that are like on my side and then we're
Yeah,
gonna
people that have
like
the same interests as you
right.
do.
Okay. I mean that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
that's
so
how
your
you do it.
argument is basically like unions are good, right?
I mean, it's. I'm not saying that. It seems like you're arriving at
That's
that
what you
conclusion.
said, dude.
It
Don't
seems like you're
come
arriving at
on,
that
man.
conclusion
Don't
on your
do
own.
that. Don't be fucking don't be weird like that. Like dog,
Anyway,
just admit it. Come
anyway,
on. What?
beyond that.
You literally just said unions are good. Like, come on.
Well, yeah, of
Don't
course.
be weird.
Yeah, I'm fucking with you. Of course, I like unions. I'm just saying that you
Yeah.
also are arriving at that conclusion on your own. I'm giving you the opportunity to, to
Yeah, no, I
to
agree.
celebrate your
Like
own recognition.
employees should be able to push back against their bosses. You're right.
There you go. So you asked me how to implement localized democracy. You spend 80% of your adult life in your place of work. That's one way that you can arrive at at least a little bit more democratic organization in a place that you spend 80% of your adult life in. So
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to start. And then you can get your union together and join larger unions and make even larger demands. Your union will be a chapter of a larger union, whatever sectoral union you might
Hasan,
have.
do you want me to start a union?
I mean, I'm not saying you should. You could
I
though.
could.
You could.
In a
So
very large corporation.
there you go. It could be good. Who knows? So I guess because you asked me how
I
to do
never
more
imagined
democracy.
that you would even fucking talk to me, man. So this actually is like wild to me.
Anyway,
But I mean,
my point
you're
is
not
this.
wrong. But like, I do honestly believe. Like, let me go and throw back for a second. I think a lot of people wouldn't have voted for Joe Biden if they knew that their fucking, his
If
son was corrupt as fuck. I do.
do you think Sun's corruptions have? any semblance on people's decision making?
Yes,
As far
yes.
as like,
I think that people's sons
do you
being
think?
corrupt is a problem. Yes, I do.
So do you think, like, for example, Donald Trump Jr. is like charity fraud? Do you think that factored into people not voting for Donald Trump
What are you
dramatically?
talking about?
Like his mismanagement, Donald Trump Jr.'s mismanagement of his dad's
I'm gonna need some
of his
sources
dad's
on that,
charity.
dog. Can you send me some sources?
I'll send you the sources after you send me the source on people changing their minds on Hunter Biden, because I do want to know.
Oh, I can definitely send you that.
Yeah, but
I can't believe you
regardless.
even talked to me, dude. Like,
Okay, you got to stop saying that, bro. It's making me feel weird.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you feel weird. Like, I just actually think that
do you
you're
think
cool
that
as fuck.
Do you think that
actually talking
if
to me.
someone's if do you think that here, this is Donald J.
Actually,
Trump
it's-
pays court
I
order $2
actually think
million
it's really
for
fucking
illegally
cool.
using Trump Foundation funds.
I mean,
That wasn't even Donald Trump Jr. That
my
was
bad.
Donald Trump
I
himself.
don't mean to talk over you.
Wait, sorry. Did you hear what I said?
A little bit.
I said Donald J. Trump pays court ordered $2 million for illegally using Trump Foundation funds.
Yeah, I mean that's
Trump
pretty
ordered to
fucked
pay
up.
8 separate charities $250,000 each. So you think like
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, that's pretty bad, man.
So you think
there's no
like
way
Hunter
around
Biden,
that.
Hunter
Like,
Biden being corrupt is important. So you must think like
I think
you know,
both. I think both of those things are bad, though. Like that's the thing. Like
do
Hunter
you think
Biden
Donald Trump's-
and Donald Trump Jr. both being corrupt.
Okay.
Like that both those things bother me. Like I'm not trying to take sides here. Like
okay,
I'm
no,
not.
no, no. My
I'm
point
not,
is this. My point is this. Because you said Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden's like corruption, which I don't even know.
He is. I mean, he's corrupt as fuck. There's no denying that.
He does nepotism.
But if Donald Trump Jr. is being corrupt as fuck too, like
no, it's not just Donald Trump Jr. It's
also
Donald
a
Trump
problem.
himself. It's not Donald Trump Jr. It's Donald Trump himself.
Yeah,
but do you think
those are
one
all
is more
problems.
important than the other? Like, do
No,
you think?
I think that it's all a problem. Like that's
Okay,
so bad.
but these two people are going up against one another. One's
Yeah,
son is
true.
corrupt. The other person himself is corrupt. Who do you think people vote for in that situation? Do you think people vote for the guy?
I hope neither of them, man. To be honest, like
Okay, but regardless.
oh, his
those
son's
are the
corrupt
only,
and he's
those
corrupt.
are the only two options you have.
What?
Those are the only two options you have.
What do I do with that? Like, how do I even respond to that? Like, they're both garbage.
Okay, you made it seem like people would vote for Donald Trump, and I thought you were a Trump supporter.
I mean, there is definitely a lot of people that would have not voted for Biden if they knew the truth.
Okay, well,
that's undeniable, dog. It is.
The truth that Hunter Biden is corrupt, except you could it is impossible to prove that regardless. I mean, it's very difficult to prove that.
It's definitely not possible to prove that.
You can
His
show
laptop
me.
was quite clear, dog.
You can show me poll results, but that doesn't change the reality of how.
Oh, as far as the election goes.
Yes, and you made it seem like there was like some deep state involvement occurring.
I mean, there definitely was.
And yet, the reality is that, like, plenty of people also knew about Trump's corruption, which it seems like people factored in Trump's personal corruption against Hunter Biden's potential corruption that they may have known about or may have heard about or didn't hear about at all. I ultimately think that one person
clearly corrupt, though.
I think that
there's
one person
no denying it at all.
Yeah, but I think that Donald Trump's personal corruption, is probably
okay. Wait, what corruption does Donald Trump have?
I mean, I just showed you in 2019, Letitia James forced Donald Trump to pay $250,000 to 8 different charities for charity fraud. That's just one minor aspect of it. But if you think that Trump is not corrupt, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, oh my Lord!
Wait, he defrauded charities?
Yes. He used the Trump Foundation.
I mean, I did not know about
illegally.
that. My bad.
There's plenty more that you see. Maybe if you knew about Donald Trump's corruption, you wouldn't be out here fucking talking about
willing to listen
how people won't vote for Donald Trump. Anyway, but look, I have to go.
That, like you assume that I'm like a deep Republican, and I'm not, dude. Like I just want to know the truth.
I gotta go. Thank you for the conversation.
Thank you for
I was
having
able to change
me
your
at
mind
all,
a little bit.
dude. Fuck yeah.
All right. And yeah, that's what I got for you. Thank you,
No, I
Muted
appreciate
Reality.
you, dude.
All right. Have a
good
good
night.
one. Okay. This man should not ride a horse right now. Yeah, I felt a little bad. I think he's a little drunk. That'll be it for me, everybody. I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna go hang out with my family. Okay. No pixel. I apologize. Kind of awkward you paid that actor to come on and debate you. You ruined Hog Talk by trying to unionize the hogs. I tried to do Hog Talk in person and it didn't work out. Okay. Yes to no pixel tomorrow. Can't do the no pixel today. And